Guys, I have the most brilliant idea ever, okay? For a movie, a show, any franchise you want, a game, anything, all right? What if we take Superman and make him evil? I think that's original. I think no one's ever done that in the history of anything. I think this is going to be the best franchise ever. So yeah, I'm going to send my pitch to Hollywood, and when I make it, guys, don't worry. I won't remember you, I promise. And yeah, the question of what happens if the all-powerful Boy Scout breaks bad has been answered again and again and again. You know, you had your occasional animated movie, you had your occasional independent comic, but 2013's Injustice Gods Among Us was the first time that concept was really turned into a franchise. And from now on, I'm just assuming you don't care about spoilers for an 8-year-old game or a movie that you clicked a commentary video on. I don't know what to tell you if you're going to be surprised about spoilers. But the basic premise of this universe is that the Joker tricks Superman into killing his pregnant wife, Lois Lane. And Joker attaches a detonator to Lois's heart. That way, when Lois's heart stops beating, it detonates a nuclear bomb in the heart of Metropolis City, Superman's home. And in retaliation for this, Superman kills the Joker and announces to the entire world that basically he's going to act as its ruler. And while at first it starts off with, oh, just no war, no killing anyone, it quickly devolves into Superman just deciding what's right, what's wrong, and killing anyone who disagrees. And this universe has spawned 2 video games because, God forbid, they announce Injustice 3. It spawned a comic series and now an animated movie. And I was very interested in this movie because it claimed to adapt both the original run of the comics and the video game in a 1.5-hour movie. Less than that, actually. When, like, the cutscenes for the original game alone are 1.5 hours long. But without further ado, let's take a look at this movie, shall we? The first scene includes Superman and Lois finding out that she's pregnant, and Superman does the really cheesy fly kiss, which, if I was married to someone who every time they kissed me, they just lifted me into the air, I feel like that would get old real quick. But right from that, Superman discovers that Batman is in Metropolis and goes to help him out, goes to do a little team up. And this starts a trend of something really annoying for me, which is that they keep in a ton of iconic moments from the video games and the comics, but they take out a lot of the context or pacing or actual things that made them iconic. I guess I'm just meant to go, that was in the comic. That was in the comic. And they rely on that so much. And so in this case, it's when Superman goes to tell Batman something, and within a second, Batman's just like, oh, Lois is pregnant. And it's just weird in this case because the scene also serves to introduce the conflict of this part of the story, which is Joker's in Metropolis and we don't know why. So, whereas the scene in the comics is very, like, slow and tender, and that made it sound like they're gonna kiss. I'd watch that storyline, to be honest. But in this case, it's shoehorned in a completely separate scene and kind of takes away the warm and fuzzies you're meant to get about it, but fine. And while Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen investigate the Joker's plot because they are journalists, the Joker shows up, kills Jimmy Olsen, and kidnaps Lois Lane. Which is already kind of weird because a huge point of this is that Joker kills Superman's wife, and Lois Lane just happened to show up at the docks. Like, the Joker says this was all part of his plot. He wanted to make sure that he broke Superman, and yet she just happened. What was his plan if she didn't show up? Did he know that she was his wife? Like, so many questions, but fine. And Batman tells everyone to find Lois Lane. And I know I'm complaining a little bit, but overall, I really do like the opening of the movie up until Superman kills Joker. It's paced a lot better than the rest of the movie. The characters' relationships feel like it's more of the focus of the story. In this case, you see it when Batman says, we need everyone to find a missing woman. And you have this really great moment.
You want the whole Justice League on a missing person case?
Yes. We believe she was taken by the Joker. She's one of ours. Her name is Lois Lane.
Lois.
And that's really good. It makes it seem like the focus of the story is going to be how the Justice League is this tight-knit family, but course it's not. And so while everyone is looking for Lois Lane, Flash just gets cut in half. I'm totally serious. The fastest man alive gets cut in half. Admittedly, like, was the trap that killed him good? Yeah. But also, like, if that's all it took to kill Flash, how did he survive this long? Like, a lot of people die in this, and it's meant to be that shock of, like, oh my god, anything can happen. But it just leaves me wondering, like, how did these people act as superheroes for, like, years and years, if not decades, if they die this way? You know? And this is meant to serve as the movie kind of nudge, winking you and saying, like, hey, we're gonna do things a little different here, you know? Because in the original mainline Injustice universe, the Flash is still alive. And not only is the Flash alive in Injustice, but in the first game, he plays, like, the most important role in the story outside the main trio, so interesting choice to kill him off 7 minutes in. Also, I was really digging the voice because it was Yuri Watanabe. How do you make Yuri That's such a good choice to cast Yuri as Flash, and then you kill him off in like a minute. Fine though, enough about the Flash, he's just one of my favorite heroes, I'll let it go. But Joker's plot is successful. Superman inadvertently kills Lois Lane, his unborn son, and nukes Metropolis. Even though the nuke was the size of, like, a lunchbox. That confused me, but fine, whatever, comics, I guess. And then, like I said, Superman kills Joker. Which, not gonna lie, I was kind of grateful for, because the entire time, it sounds like the voice actor is talking through a fan when recording his lines.
And the world will burn.
And I'm going to complain about this a lot, but the individual scenes are paced so weirdly because it feels like they're trying to pick as many iconic moments to put in as possible. And so between Superman showing up and Joker dying, there's like 30 seconds. There's no tension whatsoever. Whereas in the video games, you actually see Superman like weighing the choice. You actually see like how his and Batman's relationship affects that choice. And you see like he's so enraged he throws Batman across the room. Like it feels powerful originally. And here it's just Superman being like, Joker's alive. Now he's not. And next, Superman is trying to weigh what his next move should be. If he should take over the entire world. And there was just this really cheesy, like, angel and devil on the shoulder. But wait for it. It's reversed, because in this story, Wonder Woman's the devil and Batman's the angel. I like cheesy imagery and cheesy movies in general, but, like, this movie's not entertaining, so I don't like the cheesiness in this movie, but whatever. And so while Superman is overthrowing governments and ending wars, you know, just your average Tuesday, the Justice League is debating with Wonder Woman what they should do about this. And Wonder Woman wants Superman to do this. She thinks Superman should be an iron-fisted ruler, but most other members of the League disagree. And here's Shazam. Here's Aquaman. These are two of the more interesting characters in the original story. You will not see either of these characters again in any meaningful way or at all. Because you see, in the original video game, Superman wants to rule over every civilization. He wants the same rules to apply to every nation. And that includes Atlantis. And so you have these interesting motivations between Superman and Aquaman, where Aquaman does agree with a lot of Superman's ideals, but he doesn't want Atlantis to be ruled over. So sometimes Aquaman and Superman are having these very tense exchanges because all Aquaman wants is for Atlantis to be free, and sometimes Batman stabs Aquaman in the leg because Aquaman's taking Superman's side again. It's an interesting dynamic that's just taken out. One of the only times Aquaman is interesting and they just don't have him. Cool. And Shazam is one of the most, like, important characters in the original game for one reason, and that's because as Superman starts to take his rule further and further, Shazam is the only person to openly question Superman, which leads to this happening.
We can't do this. Have you gone nuts? Lois would never want it. Just...
Shazam has his brain melted for disagreeing. hey, do you know who Shazam is? He's a child. He's literally 15 in this timeline. He gets his brain melted by Superman for disagreeing with him. Messed up. And that leads the Flash, who originally sides with Superman, to go against Superman. And it shows how far gone Superman is. But next up, Superman starts to go against American interests, which leads to some very, very subtle commentary in the US's role in global politics.
Superman's bringing down governments. Fine when it's in our interests, a mighty big problem when it's not.
But next up, Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne, aka Nightwing and the Fourth Robin, are sparring in the Batcave. And Damian Wayne throws his weapon at Nightwing's head, which is the worst place to get hit with a weapon. And it seemed like they were doing a fake out from the comics, because originally Damian Wayne throws his weapon at Nightwing's head when he's not looking in the comics and kills him. Straight up. In a fit of rage, he kills his older brother. But, you know, it's fine if this movie forgot that Damian Wayne kills Dick Grayson, because Injustice 2 literally did forget that. Yeah, worst part of that game, I'm not even joking, it is clearly stated that during a specific mission, Damian kills Dick, and then Injustice 2 shows that mission, and Dick Grayson is nowhere to be found. Yet the entirety of Batman and Damian's relationship hinges on the fact that Damian killed Dick. But Superman decides that he is going to execute the inmates of Arkham Asylum, which, in the comics, was when Damian kills Dick. So, okay, well, let's see where this is going to go. And then they set up this fight scene between Batman and Nightwing versus Robin, Wonder Woman, Superman, and Cyborg. Oh, wow. This is totally a 50-50 fight that they're going to do. Oh, what? The prisoners escaped and now they're going to work together instead? I'm shocked. Oh, no. I thought Batman and Nightwing really had a 50% chance in this fight. Like, don't get me wrong. Again, I love Dick. But him and no, there's no way they're winning this fight. It just wasn't going to happen. So, very predictable jailbreak scene happens. And in that, Dick Grayson helps out Damian. And when he sasses him, Damian kills Dick by throwing his weapon at his head again. And I will admit that was well done, because I thought Superman catching the weapon meant that they weren't going to do it, but they were referencing it. So that part was really good.
He always blocks it. Always.
Except the last time he did this, Dick didn't block it. So already not true. But they never focus on Batman's relationship with his son Damian again, so it was just kind of like, oh my god, Dick Grayson's dead! And then after the scene ends, no one really cares at all. Cool. Just kind of a weird thing to do. Next up, you have Superman playing chess. And this was an iconic scene in the comics. Because you see, with Batman and Superman no longer really on speaking terms, the Flash becomes Superman's closest confidant a lot of the time. And because they're the only two members of the League with super speed, they're able to slow down the perception of time around them to basically put everyone else in slow motion and have long and detailed conversations about the ethics and morals of their choices without any time passing around them. But yes, instead of Flash in this iconic chess scene, we have everyone's favorite hero, Mr. Terrific. Right now, 2 people watching this video just perked up and went, no, Jimmy, you don't understand, he's great. No one cares about Mr. Terrific. I'm sorry. And basically Superman says he wants to turn the world into a surveillance state and he wants Mr. Terrific's technological help. And honestly, this entire thing goes nowhere, and every scene with Mr. Terrific in it, you didn't need Mr. Terrific. It was just weird how they approached this. But fine, whatever. Let's make like the movie and keep the plot moving no matter how unnatural it feels. Batman and his team of anti-Superman people go to Superman's home base in order to steal a weapon that would be able to harm Superman. And when Superman shows up, a fight breaks out that kills his father. Though I will say one thing, Superman deflects a Kryptonian arrow with his hand. What? He hits it by the head. How does he not get whatever, fine. But this does happen in the comics, just way better, where in his dying moments, Green Arrow sends off an arrow into the distance, intentionally missing Superman, And in doing so, he gives Batman what they came for and makes the mission a success. In this, Superman just...
He ain't gonna be in Rush Hour 3.
Next up, you have Batman and Catwoman chilling on a rooftop. Because when you kill the father of the man who can find you anywhere in the world, the best place to be is on the rooftop of your home city. And it just so happens that Superman kills a group of partiers nearby. Sure, whatever. Wonder Woman's eventually surprised that Superman keeps unraveling when she's literally been the enabler this whole time. And in the original Injustice storyline, she's a straight up villain. She's like the most evil person.
I'm not the one who stoked Clark's worst fears.
To pacify man's world, Cal needed steel, not compassion.
But you didn't bring peace. You started a war.
And remember that weaponized surveillance drone I told you about? Well, he kills someone for littering. Thank goodness. I was worried there was going to be a single scene without either a callback being set up or paid off. So you know what? I'm happy about this. Okay. Wait, what? The terrorist Superman went to get a weapon didn't obey Superman? Wow. Although, just a side note, if we need to kill Superman so bad, why doesn't anyone just hit him really hard? But this robot Amazo is a menace, and he kills a couple members of the Justice League. Although, Cyborg just lets out a... Oh, yeah! They decide that after seeing a member of the Justice League killed, that's when we need fan service for a completely separate cartoon. Cool. But either way, they just can't beat Amazo. But now my question is, why can't they just hit Amazo really, really hard? Wait a second, this movie's almost over, and yet nothing from the games happened, but this was marketed as an adaptation of the games as well. Don't worry, one thing from the games happened, which is that they bring in an alternate timeline version of Superman to stop Superman. And he loses in this one, because they want Superman to still be a good person and surrender. So what did they do? Any idea? The guy who's killing everyone because his pregnant wife died? That's right, they brought back Jimmy Olsen. Nope, they bring back another universe's version of a pregnant Lois Lane. Good to know the third trimester was the only thing separating Lois Lane from a Karen haircut. That was just something I needed to know. But yes, in a truly climactic fashion, Superman just says, "I'm done now," and goes home. Or to prison. But it was nice to relate to Superman at some point of this movie because, like him, by this point, I was done. Overall, this was a terrible adaptation. I'm not saying adaptations have to be one-to-one, but oh my god, if you're going to include iconic moments, let the scenes breathe. Every scene felt like it was just there to serve a purpose and then move on. This was all so rushed, so bad, and it either butchered every iconic moment or just like changed it in weird and unnecessary ways. This movie needed an extra half hour, which is rare for me to say a movie is too short, but this one is. All I know is by the end of watching this movie, I was jealous of Dick Grayson. Not just because of his amazing ass, but because I wish someone just hit me in the head instead of making me watch this movie. Bye! Hey, thanks for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It actually really helps me out a lot. I make comedic commentary videos, critiques, and video essays every Friday. And if you're not convinced yet, you can check out some more recommendations above. Alright, well, thanks again. Bye.